Hooked: How to Build Habit-Forming Products by Nir Eyal and Ryan Hoover, broken down by chapters, and provide actionable steps that entrepreneurs can take to implement these points to be successful in their business and life. Chapter 1: The Habit Zone. The first chapter of the book lays the groundwork for the concept of building habit-forming products. The authors start by introducing the habit zone, a term that describes the space where a product becomes a habit for its users. They argue that the most successful companies are the ones that can create habits in their users, which leads to a higher customer lifetime value and loyalty. The authors then introduce the four-step hook model, which describes the process of creating a habit-forming product. The four steps are: trigger. The trigger is the cue that prompts a user to take action. It can be internal or external, and it needs to be relevant to the user's life. Action. The action is the behavior the user takes in response to the trigger. It needs to be easy and require minimal effort. Variable reward. The variable reward is the payoff that the user receives after taking the action. It needs to be unpredictable and exciting to keep the user engaged. Investment. The investment is the step that sets up the user for the next cycle of the hook model. It requires the user to put something into the product, whether it's time, data, or money. The authors also introduce the concept of internal triggers, which are emotions or thoughts that prompt users to take action. They argue that the most habit-forming products tap into these internal triggers to create a psychological connection with their users. Actionable steps for entrepreneurs. Identify the habit zone for your product. Determine the point at which your product becomes a habit for its users. This will help you understand the potential lifetime value of your customers and the level of loyalty you can expect. Create a habit-forming product using the hook model. Use the 4 steps of the hook model to design a product that can create a habit in its users. Focus on creating triggers that are relevant to your users, actions that are easy to take, variable rewards that are exciting and unpredictable, and investments that set up the user for the next cycle. Tap into internal triggers. Identify the internal triggers that prompt your users to take action and create a psychological connection with your product. Context and examples. One example of a habit-forming product is Facebook. The trigger is the notification icon, which prompts users to take action by clicking on it. The action is checking the notification, which requires minimal effort. The variable reward is the unpredictable nature of the notifications, which can range from a like to a comment to a message. The investment is the time and data that users put into the platform, which sets them up for the next cycle of the hook model. Another example is the mobile game Candy Crush. The trigger is the icon on the home screen, which prompts users to play the game. The action is swiping and matching candies, which is easy and requires minimal effort. The variable reward is the excitement of passing a level or earning a new achievement. The investment is the time and progress that users put into the game, which sets them up for the next cycle. Chapter 2: The Trigger. The second chapter of the book focuses on the first step of the hook model, the trigger. The authors argue that creating effective triggers is critical for creating a habit-forming product. They introduce 2 types of triggers: external triggers and internal triggers. External triggers are cues that come from the environment, such as a notification, an email, or a push notification. They are useful for getting users to take action in the moment, but they can also become annoying if they are overused. Internal triggers, on the other hand, are cues that come from within the user, such as boredom, anxiety, or social acceptance. These triggers are more powerful because they create a psychological connection with the product. The authors then discuss the importance of understanding the user's internal triggers and how to design triggers that are relevant to them. They recommend conducting user research to understand what drives their behavior and what triggers are most effective. They also provide a framework for designing effective triggers, which includes the following elements. Frequency. Triggers need to be frequent enough to create a habit, but not so frequent that they become annoying. Timing. Triggers need to be timed correctly to coincide with the user's internal triggers. Relevance. Triggers need to be relevant to the user's life and needs. Association. Triggers need to be associated with the action that the user needs to take. Actionable steps for entrepreneurs. Conduct user research. Use surveys, interviews, and other methods to understand what internal triggers drive your users' behavior. Design triggers that are relevant to your users. Use the framework of frequency, timing, relevance, and association to create triggers that are effective and not annoying. Test and iterate. Test your triggers with a small group of users, and then iterate based on feedback and data. Context and examples. One example of a company that has effectively used triggers is Instagram. The trigger is the notification that a user has received a new like, comment, or follower. The frequency is high enough to create a habit, but not so frequent that it becomes annoying. The timing is associated with the user's desire for social validation and the need to feel connected with others. The relevance is tied to the user's interests and the content they follow on the platform. Finally, the association is with the action of checking the notification, which takes minimal effort. Another example is Slack, which uses external triggers in the form of push notifications to prompt users to check their messages. The frequency is high enough to create a habit, but users can also customize their notification settings to reduce the frequency. The timing is associated with the user's need to stay connected with their team and be responsive to messages. The relevance is tied to the user's work and the people they communicate with. The association is with the action of checking the message, which is easy to do within the app. Chapter 3. The Action. The third chapter of the book focuses on the second step of the hook model, the action. The authors argue that in order to create a habit-forming product, the action needs to be easy to do and require minimal effort. They provide several techniques for designing actions that are easy to take, including reduce the number of steps. The more steps a user needs to take, the less likely they are to take the action. Simplify the process as much as possible. Use social proof. Show that other people have taken the action, which can create a sense of social validation and make it more likely for the user to take the action. Leverage rewards and punishments. Provide rewards for taking the action and punishments for not taking it. This can create a sense of motivation for the user. Use game mechanics. Incorporate game-like elements, such as levels, points, and badges, to create a sense of progress and achievement for the user. The authors also discuss the importance of creating habits around positive actions, as opposed to negative ones. They argue that it's easier to create a habit around a positive action, such as exercising or eating healthy, than a negative one, such as avoiding junk food. Actionable steps for entrepreneurs. Simplify the process. Reduce the number of steps that the user needs to take to complete the action. Use social proof. Show that other people have taken the action, which can create a sense of social validation and make it more likely for the user to take the action. Leverage rewards and punishments. Provide rewards for taking the action and punishments for not taking it. Use game mechanics. Incorporate game-like elements, such as levels, points, and badges, to create a sense of progress and achievement for the user. Context and examples. One example of a company that has effectively used game mechanics to create a habit-forming product is Duolingo. The action is learning a new language, and the app uses game-like elements such as levels, points, and rewards to create a sense of progress and achievement for the user. The process is also simplified, with the user only needing to spend a few minutes a day on the app to complete a lesson. The social proof is provided through the community of users who are also learning a new language. Another example is the fitness app Fitbit. The action is exercising, and the app uses game-like elements such as points and rewards to create a sense of progress and achievement for the user. The process is simplified, with the user only needing to wear the Fitbit device to track their activity. The social proof is provided through the community of users who are also using the app to track their fitness. Chapter 4. The Variable Reward. The fourth chapter of the book focuses on the third step of the hook model, the variable reward. The authors argue that the reward needs to be unpredictable and exciting in order to keep the user engaged. They provide several techniques for designing variable rewards, including use randomness. Provide rewards randomly, which can create a sense of excitement and anticipation for the user. Use progress bars. Show the user how far they are from completing a task, which can create a sense of progress and accomplishment. Use surprises. Provide unexpected rewards, such as hidden Easter eggs or special offers, which can create a sense of delight for the user. Use social rewards. Provide rewards that are tied to the user's social status, such as likes or followers, which can create a sense of validation and popularity. The authors also discuss the importance of balancing the reward with the effort required to obtain it. They argue that the reward needs to be valuable enough to justify the effort required, but not so valuable that it becomes a distraction from the core product experience. Actionable steps for entrepreneurs. Use randomness. Provide rewards randomly, which can create a sense of excitement and anticipation for the user. Use progress bars. Show the user how far they are from completing a task, which can create a sense of progress and accomplishment. Use surprises. Provide unexpected rewards, such as hidden Easter eggs or special offers, which can create a sense of delight for the user. Use social rewards. Provide rewards that are tied to the user's social status, such as likes or followers, which can create a sense of validation and popularity. Context and examples. One example of a company that has effectively used social rewards to create a habit-forming product is Twitter. The variable reward is the number of likes, retweets, and followers that a user receives, which can create a sense of validation and popularity. The process is simplified, with the user only needing to post a short message or tweet to participate. The social proof is provided through the community of users who are also using the app to share their thoughts and ideas. Another example is the mobile game Clash of Clans. The variable reward is the loot that the user can earn by raiding other players' villages. The reward is randomized, which can create a sense of excitement and anticipation for the user. The process is simplified, with the user only needing to tap on the screen to initiate the raid. The social proof is provided through the community of players who are also playing the game and sharing their progress. Overall, Hooked: How to Build Habit-Forming Products by Nir Eyal and Ryan Hoover is a valuable resource for entrepreneurs who are looking to create products that can become a habit for their users. By following the hook model and incorporating techniques for creating effective triggers, actions, and variable rewards, entrepreneurs can design products that create a psychological connection with their users and drive long-term engagement and loyalty.